Yoza, I am the great MJada, the SVG league commissioner, and I am here with Weasel, the SVG fight analyst, and we're here to break down the card from the other night, SVG WAR 34, that came to you live from Manas, Brazil. And Weasel, we had a hell of a card. What'd you think of it, buddy?
Yeah, it was stacked. Bunch of action everywhere. We had knockouts left and right. We had a knockout we'd never seen before. We had history in the making. Tonight was just an amazing card from top to bottom, man.
Yeah, the card was stacked, man. I'm telling you right now, they had so many good fights. It was definitely going to be hard for the bonus commission to pick out all the bonuses for that one, because a lot of people were showing out and there was a lot of great fights. So, but let's start right at the top, the cream of the crop, and Weasel, JX goated. He did it again. 10 in a row, 10 finishes. I mean, come on. He gets by K-Hand in the second round. What'd you think of the fight, Weez?
Yeah, once again, JX was able to show why he's the most dominant champion in SVG history. It's amazing. 10 consecutive fights, all by finish. I don't know what else to say there. He has proven time and time again that he's just the cream of the crop. With that being said, I think he's planning on vacating the title. It'll be interesting to see what new challengers rise up and grab that belt.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. Talking to Goated after the fight, he said he had stuff he had to do, so he's going to step aside for a little while and put the belt up, and now we got a vacant title for the next card. But I mean, as of right now, Goated, he goes down in my books as the top guy. No one has had a better career in UFC 5 than Goated. I mean, in 4, when he came in, I remember he was a young buck. He worked hard and got his way up, and then by the time 5 came around, he had put in so much work. He's a monster now. And this kid has absolutely been dominant in the league. 10 wins, 10 finishes, 9 knockouts, 1 submission. And I think he just got that 1 submission just for the fuck of it. I mean, I think so. Absolute dominant. Yeah, dominant career by JX Goated. Sad to see him go, but I have a good feeling we'll see him again somewhere down the line. But for now, he's got to do his thing. And yeah, the fight with K-Hand, though, that was insane, because last night, K-Hand hit him with a 3-piece about 30 seconds into the fight that he hurt Goated bad, and that he had to come back for some serious adversity early.
Yeah, most definitely. Shout out to K-Hand. He drug him to deep waters early, and they put on such a good show, it earned fight of the night. So it was a beautiful performance by both guys, but JX, just that killer instinct. He gets to you quick. But shout out to K-Hand. He definitely put up a really good fight, and was definitely a worthy challenger to JX Goated there.
Yeah, K-Hand's been killing it since he came in the league. This guy told me he was going to be champ when he first got here, and all he's done since then is knock people out. I mean, he's had one or two stumbles in his whole career here, and they're against top guys that are champions or fighting for the belt themselves. So, I mean, Nothing but respect for K-Hand, absolute monster. But JX Goated, man, he's got that touch of death, and when he finds his shot, that's all she wrote.
Yep. I mean, but shout out to Goated and shout out to K-Hand both. They both put up one hell of a fight.
JX Goated is ruled with an iron fist, and now there's going to be a big chance on this next card. And one of the men that's going to be taking place in that is a guy who got a big win in the co-main event, as Boo was able to get a decision over Hoo.
Yeah, super impressive. It was a really close fight, competitive, one of my favorite fights in the entire card.
Yep.
Earning the decision victory, like you said. And now he joins Elite Company as one of 5 people, I think, to start out 5-0 in his career. So
not an easy task.
Exciting to see what's next for him.
Yeah, the kid's been impressive since he came in the league, Weez. I got to tell you, we saw him fight a little bit on UFC 4. Not taking away anything. He didn't really show anything that said dominant champion or and so far since he's came into this league on UFC 5, he's been just dominant. The guy's got 5 fights, 4 finishes. The only man he didn't finish was Hoo. And I mean, come on, we all know how tough the former champion Hoo is. No shame in that one. Going 3 solid rounds, but winning every round. I'm excited to see what this kid can do, as he's going to get his first shot at gold at the vacant title.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I think Boo has a really good shot of reaching up there and grabbing that title. He's got a very well-rounded skill set and really matches up well against most people in this league.
Mm-hmm. And then the man he's going to be taking on for the vacant title to headline SVG WAR 35 coming up on the 27th, Murphy. Murphy just got a decision win over Smoochie, the SVG captain, and that's no easy task either, is it, Weez?
Oh, no, I know firsthand fighting Smoochie is no easy task. But Murphy was able to get the decision win, and he really came from out of nowhere, really. Nobody was really talking much about him, and then he just put the league on notice. And he just ran circles. And he's done it in class, too. He's done it with some decisions. He's got good variety. He's got a knockout. He's got decisions. He's shown that he can go the distance.
That is impressive, too, because the fact that, you know, he does have as many decisions as he does, it makes me think this guy's patient, and that's a big characteristic of a champion. You can't, you know, not everyone can rush in there guns blazing. Not everyone has the touch of death like our champion JX Goated did, right? So
right.
Some of us got to work for it, and I mean, he's showing that he'll put in the time to get there. So great job. Yeah, great job by Murphy, and it'll be exciting to see him take on Boo on the next event. But
absolutely.
The second fight from the bottom on the main card, though, we had a surging contender right now, Weasel, in Triggy. Triggy, not too long ago, was not ranked. He was on a bit of a slide, and he got an opportunity to fill in short notice and take on a number 6 guy. Got it done. This card, he takes on number 6 again in Jigsaw, and man, he gets it done again.
Yeah, it's just so impressive watching the resurgence of Triggy. This is actually a rematch from SVG War 25,
right?
And the results were the same as the first. Triggy was able to knock out Jigsaw in the 3rd round and did it rather impressive. With that being said, he's made really good adjustments in his game, and I think he matches up with a lot of people, and he's a nightmare matchup because of his pressure boxing style.
Well, he's always been known for his pressure boxing, but man, his hand speed really showed out. His hand speed really showed out in this last card, because like, I think highly of Jigsaw. I think he's one of these young contenders that, you know, he has a legit shot at the throne. And
yep,
Triggy handled him in this fight. Triggy won quite dominantly, so that's not to knock Jigsaw at all. Nothing but respect for Jigsaw, but more of a compliment to Triggy. That's an impressive feat to win the way he did against a tough kid like Jigsaw.
Exactly, that's impressive.
Well, right on the heels of the first fight, you know, we've been waiting for this guy to come back for a long time, and about 3 cards ago he finally did, and now he's made his way to the main card. The Moroccan Lion, the former champion himself. I mean, he took on you, so I mean, you would know better than anyone, Weasel. You were in there with him. What was that like, taking on the Moroccan Lion to kick off the main card?
Man, great work on Lion's part. He made it look easy. First round KO, made it look super clean work. I don't want to deal with that again, that's for sure. With him being now 4-0, it's going to be interesting to see if he can go 5-0 again and fight for the belt. And I think he matches up well with the best of them. He's got a very unorthodox style, super hard to deal with, and he pours on the damage super quick.
Yeah, Rocky's always been a thorn in the side of whoever he's fighting for the most part. Very few people have been able to get a victory on him in the league setting. I mean, the guy's tough as shit. He's a champion for a reason. He's got as many title defenses as he does for a reason. And, you know, I thought you were doing pretty good until those knees start. It hits a point when those knees start landing that there's only so much you can do. It doesn't matter who you are, how tough you are. If you can't breathe and your stomach's hurt, it's gonna hurt. And I mean, great job by both you guys, but man, Rocky's looking sharp right now. And sitting at 4-0, he's got a big fight coming up against the captain, against Smoochie there. So, I mean, with an impressive victory, who knows? We could see him fighting for the title before long.
Yeah, it could be a very short wait to see Lion back in the main event.
Well, the main event of the prelims was a good one. We had Guts taking on Joker. Now, one thing I want to say going into this fight, we mentioned earlier, Triggy just had the big upset the card before, and Guts was that guy. He was number 6 ranked. Guts didn't have to take the fight and give a not ranked guy a shot, and he did. And you know what? It didn't go his way, and he suffered for a little bit as it hurt his ranking. Guts was up there in the top 10. And after that fight, Weasel, he told me, man, I feel sorry for the next guy I got to fight because they're dead meat. And, I mean, what a masterclass Guts put on in this one.
Yeah, an absolute masterclass, like you said. Guts was just able to walk in there and take care of work. Battle of two technical kickboxers. I thought it would be a bit closer than what it was, but... Actually, Guts took him out with a flying knee, and that seems to be Joker's kind of trademark that he loves to do. It's going to be exciting to see where Guts goes and his movement in the rankings and everything like that. But he really just stepped in there and took care of business. He stood on his word of feeling sorry for whoever had to step in next to him. Joker was just that unlucky guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the downsides for Joker when you start winning the fights like you have. Joker's had a nice little run going over the last little bit. The competition gets stiffer and stiffer. And, you know, Guts was a little... He bit off a little bit more than he could chew with Guts. But, I mean, he came out there, he got after it. So, good job for Joker. But, yeah, it was one-way traffic, and Guts was doing the driving.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, in a fight right before that, and I mean, if it wasn't for the main event between Goated and Kahan, man, I'm telling you, this could have been the fight of the night. Reezy and LDT. It was only a round, but what a fucking round it was, Weez.
Oh, man. It was beautiful. Reezy was able to knock out Nassim in what was an absolute firecracker of a fight. And in my opinion, one of my favorite fights in SVG history. Man, that was so entertaining. If you guys haven't watched that, go back and watch it.
Well, when they touch gloves and then they just started throwing. And I think they both kind of had a thing in their head where the first guy to step back is a pussy or something, because both guys were fighting off all balls in that one. They stood there and they were slinging.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was an exciting fight to watch, nonetheless. It was short, but exciting.
Yes. Great uppercut, too, by Reezy in the finish there. LDT wind up for a big shot. And, I mean, Reezy just found his chin. No shame in that at all. I mean, it sucks to lose like that for LDT. You know, you never want to get knocked out. But, I mean, he did it putting on a hell of a show. So, salute to both of those guys.
Absolutely.
Well, right before that, we had Venom taking on Night Legacy, and I gotta tell you, Weasel, I know how good Venom is, but I also know how good Night Legacy is, so I did not see that fight playing out the way it did.
Yeah, absolutely not. I thought it was going to be a grappling battle, is what I had in my head, but it was not that at all. Venom was able to make short work and get a vicious KO, earning KO of the night. Poor Legacy. You just never seen that shot coming, you know? No shame to Legacy whatsoever, because stuff like that happens. Everybody gets bounced every now and again. It'd be exciting to see where Venom goes. It looks like he's taking on me this next card. Good luck for him.
Yeah.
But Night Legacy, I'm sure he'll bounce back. He was a former title challenger. He said he's looking to get back there here very shortly, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, too, is, like, that's being in the middle of the card right now. Both of these guys have main evented here. So, like, no slouches at all. Well, right before that, they had yours truly, me, the great M. Jada, and I took on with Pressure Bowl. Tell me what you thought of that one, Weez.
Man, it was good to see you going back to your wrestling ways, man. I think the well-roundingness was just too much for Pressure Bowl. You picked up a much-needed win with a decision, and it'd be interesting to see how you build on the momentum there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I tried. I tried to take him out. I did. I tried to choke him out. I tried to knock him out. I think it especially shows in the third round. I hit 2 submissions. It wasn't quite enough. I was in his face, slinging fucking bombs the best I could. His name's Pressure Bull, but I was keeping the pressure on. I was trying to fucking get him out of there. The guy's tough, man. The guy is fantastic. He's been around forever. He's one of the OGs. You know, he has been around forever. He's a legit tough player. And yeah, I tried for a long time the striking thing. It hasn't worked for me. So you know what? I'm gonna dance with the one who brought me. I'm going back to my roots, and I tried to mix it up and get after it, but he was too much for me to get him out of there. Nothing but respect for Pressure Bowl. I am proud of the performance bonus I was awarded, though, by our committee, because I did get off over 250 strikes, which I'm proud of.
Yeah, you really 250 strikes is an insane number, you know. So
Well, let's see what we can do in the next one. Nothing but respect for Pressure Bowl. But other than that, I'll move on. I don't want to sit here and toot my own horn. Maximum respect for Pressure Bowl. Feels good to be back in the win column. And moving on to me, to my PlayStation son himself, and my commentary partner, our colleague here on the SVG recording side of things. We got Hashish Hands, and this guy's been on fire. Low key, Hashi has been on fire, and he brought it to Baba Yaga, who was 2-0 going to this, getting his first step up in competition, if you will. And Hashi appeared to be a little bit too much for him.
yeah, in the fight, it seemed pretty competitive. Hashi definitely had the upper hand, but now Hashi's on a 3-fight win streak. It's good to see after the rough start to UFC 5. He's made some good adjustments in his game, and I think the sky's the limit with Hashi. Same with Baba Yaga. I think Baba Yaga is eventually could be a future title challenger or a champion for the league. Very talented, and just, you know, and tonight or on Saturday night, Hashi was just a little bit too much.
A little bit too much too soon, maybe. I mean, you look at Hashi's record, you know, he's sub 500 and all this, and you might think, okay, that's an easy fight. But I mean, you got to remember, Hashi is the Iron Man for a reason. We've put out 34 cards up to date. He is the only guy that fought on all 34. There is no one with more experience in the SVG league. So, yeah, big test for Baba Yaga. Came up a little short, but you know what? Like you said, he's young. He's on the come up, dust himself up, come back strong. You know, who's to say he's not just like Murphy, who's going to be fighting for the strap on the next card. You know, Murphy had one little setback along the way, but he's 5-1 fighting for the belt. This could be the same thing all over again because, yeah, a lot of talent on that kid.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm excited.
All right, well, moving down, we had something. I'll be honest, man. This I thought was going to get knockout of the night. I thought it might get knockout of the night. Then Venom had to come along and starch a guy in 1 minute flat. But Dave with a absolute brilliant knockout on the Little Lion as he ducks a head kick and blasts him back with one of his own. Weasel. I've never seen that before today.
Oh man, Dave, that was such a masterclass too. He made another statement to the league that he's going to be making a push towards the title here soon with that knockout. And it's wild. Dave is just such a well-rounded fighter and such a good counter fighter that he's dangerous no matter what stage of the fight you're at with. Once again, Little Lion, you know, a lot of talent. I see the improvement. I mean, I really do with the kid. It'll be exciting to see how he bounces back from this.
Yeah, Little Lion is one of these ones you got to keep your eye on because he's so young that once he starts to figure this shit out, it's going to come really fast for him. He's going to get really good really fast. So, and I mean, being the Moroccan Lions' little brother and growing up around all these good players, it almost seems like the kid is destined to be a fantastic player down the line. And I know I've told him as much myself. The kid is, he's made for it. So, taking on a guy like Dave, like, it's no secret. We've seen Dave, you know, on the leaderboards and that. We've seen the stats. He's a fantastic player. He's 3-0 now, and the sky's the limit for this guy. I mean, he's one of those guys that is a matchmaker's dream because you could put him against anybody, and it's going to be a great fight. They better be on their A game because Davey Boy's bringing it.
Yeah.
Well, talking about great fighters, we had Mickey Tyson taking on Smook Hendricks right before that, and I'll tell you what, these guys both get after it, and what an absolute movie-like finish for Mickey Tyson after Smook Hendricks flips him off and tells him to fuck off, and then maybe 10 seconds later, he puts him out cold. Kind of like Pereira telling Herb Dean, don't worry about the nut kick, and then knocking out Hill.
Yeah, you know, it was super exciting fight. They were swinging and banging all fight. But Mickey showed why he got his nickname Too Tricky. That's for sure. Mickey looked like a completely different fighter out there. He was jumping into people's guards, trying to get people out of there. He had the killer instinct. on Saturday night, and it was something really special to watch. It looked like he put all his tools together.
Well, yeah, and Smook was 2-0 coming into that. Smook is another veteran of our league here. A lot of people don't realize that Smook was in the first ever SVG WAR fight. He took on Hashish Hands at SVG WAR 1. That's how long Smook Hendricks has been around. Absolute veteran of the game. And you know what? He was looking really good, and that's just the beauty of this game that we played. One punch. Mickey blasted an uppercut at the right time when Smook was doing the wrong thing, and that's all she wrote. Put him out cold. Mickey's always been one of these guys that he has all the skills. It's just when it comes to putting it together, sometimes maybe it's a little rushed or a little clunky, but he has all the skill set, and he definitely has major underrated wrestling. So I'd love to see him mix it all in and see what he can do. He's got himself a little bit of a win streak here, and he's going to take on Hashish Hands on the next card. Both guys got a little bit of a win streak going, so there's some momentum behind the winner of that one.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's for sure.
Well, I don't play favorites in this league, but it's no secret. I've always been a big El Monstro fan, and he took on Champ on this last one as the French kickboxer came in and took on the American. I would call him a jiu-jitsu player, although we've seen Champ mix it up in the striking a little bit here and there. In fact, he mixed it up in the striking quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, a highly competitive fight. In my opinion, El Monstro was able to use a last-second surge to steal the decision win over Champ. Now he's 3-1. Exciting to see the veteran start a push towards the top, you know?
Yeah, El Monstro was another one of these guys that he had a ton of fights. I think he had 18 fights out of 23 cards, or something like that. Forgive me if my math isn't exact, but I mean, the guy had so many fights for us on the SVG WAR cards back in UFC 4. So it's great to see him back here, and he's been off to a hot start, and now he's 3-1 going into this next card. So he gets it done again, and like you said, he might have had a nice surge at the end. That when it comes to this game, Weasel, you know as good as I, like, we've both seen some rounds that it's like the judges are smoking fucking meth or something. So you never know what they're gonna judge something, but El Monstro turned it on in the end of the third round there, got a big knockdown and hurt Champ, so that probably swayed it for him. But yeah, great job by the veteran to get it done. And you know, Champ's been around. Champ's got a ton of fights too. Champ's been, I mean, not at all to be at all disrespectful, but Champ has been quite surprising in the league so far. And he's had a really rough go. He's had a really rough start to his run here in UFC 5. So I don't know what Champ has to do to fix that, but I hope he takes a look at it, steps back, and assesses the situation and comes back strong, because he was a solid player on UFC 4, and he hasn't been performing to that as of yet here on 5.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see if he can make any adjustments and what he can do, because it'd be nice to see him start to get back in the mix.
Yep. Well, there you go. Right before El Monstro and Smook Hendrick, as we keep moving down the card, kicking it off before that, Bosmir moves to 2-0 as he knocks out SBV in the second round.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Bosmir looks sharp, man. He's come out of nowhere and put statements on the league. He made good work of SBV. I'm excited to see the growth of Bosmir, to be honest with you. I think that he has a ton of potential, and his career is just now starting in the SVG league. So it'll be exciting to see how he can grow and blossom. I could definitely see him being a contender in the near future.
It's reminiscent of, we were just talking about Baba Yaga being this young guy coming up, and he's on the team training with all these guys and learning all this stuff and whatever, looking really sharp in the league. And yeah, Bosmir kind of fits right into that if you think about it, Weasel. He's another young kid who's newer to the team, newer to the league, but so far he's 2 for 2. And I mean, I know you don't start screaming champion when you hear 2-0, but I mean,
right.
Hell, it's you can't get a better start than that. he just had his second fight, and he just had a beautiful knockout in the second round as he caught SVG on the way down, put him out cold by the time he hit the mat. So he's got himself a beautiful highlight, that's for sure, and it'll be very interesting to see what he builds off that going forward over the next months to come.
Yeah, it would be with the step up in competition coming. It'll be exciting to see how his skill set matches in with everybody else.
Yes, sir. Now, these next couple ones right here is going to be a testament to how deep the talent in this league actually is. Because as we had the very first early prelim fight of the night, we had former SVG champion Wolf come on, and he got it done. He went the full rounds against KO King, another highly touted fighter who's had a lot of good success here.
Right, exactly, and that's a very uncharacteristic of Wolf. Winning a decision. Back in UFC 4, he was knocking everybody out.
He was the guy that had 100% knockout percentage. Yep, absolutely. Good point.
Yeah, and it's good to see Wolf back in action. He got a controversial, razor-close decision win. Good to see him, move in the right direction. He was coming off a loss, if I remember correctly. It'll be exciting to see how he builds on that and grows. I mean, the talent pool here is so deep. To see a SVG champion in the early prelims, talent here is crazy.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? Is it don't matter what you did in the past or what you did anywhere else. When you come here, we treat everybody the same. So whether you had number one on the leaderboard, or you were a champ of another organization or anything like that, or if you're a brand new guy that no one heard of, everybody starts the same, and they gotta work up. I make a great effort to try to make it fair in that sense for everybody. So yeah, that's how you get some of these stacked guys. And I mean, another testament to that. How about this? The main event of the dark matches, maybe the most highly touted prospect we've ever had come into the league. Quite possibly. I don't want to oversell it, but the amount of hype around this guy is unbelievable right now. And CV came in and got it done in just an absolute masterclass performance against Jiggly J. Not only picking up the beautiful knockout, but picking up a performance of the night along the way.
Yeah, he looked extra sharp in this fight. He really just picked Jiggly J apart, like you said. It looks like the league has a real problem on their hands with this guy. I don't want to sell anything too early, but that was just such a technical, breakdown of Jiggly J. It's hard to even describe. It was beautiful what he was able to accomplish.
Well, Jiggly J is a strong fighter, and and he's had about a 500 record here, which it might not sound like the greatest thing, but when you got lots of tough people, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And he's winning just as much as he's losing, but no disrespect to Jiggly J, he was never in that fight. CV took control of it right away, kept control, and eventually ended it on his own terms as he put Jiggly J clean out with a beautiful spinning wheel kick. But the thing that's so impressive, I think, about CV, he's not doing anything off the books. He's not doing anything crazily unorthodox or whatever. It's just maximizing all of his techniques, using footwork and timing to keep people and just get the most out of his strike, to keep people at the right range. He was blasting a body kick all day, and instead he was just hitting it in the perfect range where he was getting the most out of it. And every time he hit that body kick, it would just zap a little bit of Jiggly's life and do a little bit of damage. It's very impressive. That was very, very technical stuff, and it'll be very cool to see him. He's already got another fight coming up on the next card. He's going to take on Joker, and it should be interesting to see how he does there.
Yeah, it's going to be another technical battle, it looks like, for those two.
One thing I do want to say, though, in Jiggly J's defense, I said CV is this highly touted guy. No one wanted to fight him. Now, when I say no one wanted to fight him, I'm not saying I offered everybody in the top 20 the fight, because obviously it's a debuting guy, right? We don't want to rush him that much, but I mean, I matched him up with multiple other fighters making their debut, or maybe had one or two fights, and he was turned down 3 times. Jiggly J, who was ranked, he was ranked 19. He hadn't signed up on the card, and I said, hey, I can get you on the card. You want to take on this guy? It's a new guy, highly touted, and he was the one that had the guts to say, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, he dropped nuts there. I mean, and he took the loss like a champion, and it'll be exciting how Jiggly will recover from that.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? Just like our boy Guts we were talking about earlier. Guts did the same thing where he could have just said, "Fuck it." I'm not gonna. My guy pulled out. I'm not gonna fight, kind of thing. But instead, he risked his spot against a not ranked guy. It didn't go his way, but I mean, maximum respect to those guys for stepping up and getting it done.
Absolutely.
So also on those dark matches, we had Alex, who had a big win over the Stove God. Alex has looked pretty good since he's came into the league.
Yeah, Alex has looked really nice. He used a balanced attack and elusive footwork. He's got that nasty step back. It's really, really hard to hit him. And got the KO over Stove God with 5 seconds left in the third round. That's impressive.
Yeah, he could have definitely sat back and relaxed, but he went after it and he went for that finish and he got it. And that's good for him. That's his second win. It's not easy to come by. So good for Alex.
Yeah, most definitely. Alex did what he was supposed to, and he got after it just because he knew he likely had the decision win under the belt. He still got after it and got the knockout for it.
Just before that, we had Meta the Milkman. I'm digging the new name, the Milkman, taking on Toucan. These are two guys that have been in the league for a minute, and you know what? They haven't exactly found their footing. They've showed flashes, but they haven't exactly found their footing yet. So Meta came out ahead, though. He showed that he had that groundwork to come ahead. Weasel, what did you think about all that?
Yeah, I think it was a very slow and technical battle, but they both wanted it. You could tell they both wanted to win. But Milkman seemed more in control of the fight for most of the fight, in my opinion, and was able to deliver himself a decision victory over there.
Yeah, he showed the groundwork, that's for sure. Another wrinkle to the game. It'll be interesting to see. Toucan's had a lot of fights, both in UFC 4 and UFC 5 here, so we'll see if he can turn it around and get something going for himself. It's been a rough go for the kid.
Yeah, he's a tough kid, though. He keeps coming back, so... And he wants to win. He shows that he wants to show up and he wants to win. So,
well, two more guys that were making their debut on the card. We had Big Gorilla, who got the better of our boy Pyru there in the third round. And I got to tell you, Weasel, I think he might throw more crane kicks than the Moroccan Lion himself.
Yeah, he was definitely able to crane kick himself to victory there. Pyru just didn't have an answer for the crane kick. He was able to find its spot all night, and Pyru just didn't quite make the adjustment. But Pyru didn't look bad. He looked very patient. He looked poised. But just wasn't enough for Gorilla, who really just let out an onslaught onto Pyru all fight.
It was funny to see, too, because he's a big boy. It's not like when Rocky does it. Rocky's, very athletic looking. Gorilla looks, stocky and built for power. And he was still getting up there. He had the hops, so watch out for this guy.
I can say with great confidence that never seen a flying gorilla until Saturday.
Well, the second fight that we put on from the dark prelims, or from the dark matches, Jimmy got matched up with Salamanca. And I got to tell you this. Every once in a while, you get a matchup and you say after the fact, that was a mismatch. This case, that was a mismatch. When Salamanca came in there, he made very short work of Jimmy.
Yeah, he most definitely did. I just think that he just showed that there's levels to it. Jimmy's just not quite to what Salamanca had to offer there. I still think Jimmy can be awfully successful. He just needs a few adjustments and some polishing. But Salamanca just came in there and made absolute quick work. One of the faster knockouts in history, too.
Yeah, in his debut, 1:15. I know it's on the dark matches and all that, but that doesn't matter. That's still that was his first crack in the league, and he knocked it out of the park. So that was interesting. We saw him fight before in the VFC versus SVG that we watched, last month, a couple weeks ago. It was just recently, and he was competing in that. So he's one of the top guys over there. And he came over here and holy cow, he destroyed Jimmy. Jimmy, I don't know how much experience Jimmy has, because he got hit and then he just started wiggling, and and it was like, what are we doing? And Salamanca just kept pull uppercut, and it was easy work for him. So
yeah, it didn't even look like Salamanca broke a sweat there.
No, but Jimmy told me after. I remember I talked to him after the fight, and he said he might have knocked me out, but I was the best dancer. So maybe he wants to keep dancing. Got his dancing shoes on. All right, one last fight, Weasel. One last fight. We had Hypes, and he was taking on Don DeJuca. Both these guys were coming into this fight 0-2. Both guys looking to get their first taste of glory at SVG WAR 34.
Yeah, and Hypes was able to come out on top in what was by far the most offensively dominated battle of all time. Both guys let off their offense with just reckless abandonment. It was a fun fight to watch. There was just no defense, and Hypes was able to get the better of that. And I don't know, Hypes can do some damage, man. They both showed that they have great offensive prowess, but they just got to work on their defense, and they could be a real force, you know.
Yeah, all offense, no defense is the way to talk about it. They just both pushed a crazy pace, burned through their stamina, and then when they got on the ground, like I was like holding my head. I was just like, oh my goodness, like waiting for something bad to happen because they would have no stamina and then go for transitions and stuff. You could tell that there's a couple areas that need work for those boys, but
yeah.
At the end of the day, it was a fun fight to watch. So yeah, Hype's got his first win. Good for him, and I look forward to seeing him bounce back. I know my boy Donnie, you know, he wants to get his first win, so I'm sure he'll sign back up for the next card. I think he's got a fight booked. And yeah, fucking, it's a tough time getting a win sometimes here. You know, there are no really easy fights. Like there's, with few exceptions. Like if you get matched up with a brand new person who I don't know who it is, I don't know what to expect. But I mean, like we have guys that debut that were, you know, top of the leaderboards here, and we have guys that are debuting that we don't know if they ever, you know, had a fight before in the league. So you don't know what to expect when you get the new guys. But with that exception, I mean, everyone here can scrap. So
yeah, the talent pool here is insane. I don't know. It's when you have an SVG, a former SVG champion in the early prelims. That just goes to show you. We kind of touched base on it. What the talent pool is around here. So.
Well, it was a stacked card, top to bottom. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I look forward to the next one. You know, headed to Atlanta, Georgia for the next one coming up in just over a week and a half, and it should be a good one. You should like that, eh? Coming back to home soil.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I can't wait to get back on U.S. grounds and see if I can't make a statement against Venom, who's red hot. But that card's sure to be a banger. A new champion's gonna be crowned. It's exciting to see. What's going to happen there and see if any of these new contenders can rise any farther or what happens with that.
Well, a ton of signups. We had a ton of signups. I mean, this next card at SVG WAR 35 is going to be by far the most amount of fights we put on. This last one that we just had was 21, and coming into 35 we have 27 booked. So we're trying to get everybody fights, trying to our best to accommodate everyone, so that we can, you know, grow this roster. And once we get that done, we'd like to bring in some more weight classes too, if we had the consistent roster there. So let's see what we can do. But man, it was a hell of a card. I can't wait for the next one. Weasel, thank you as always for breaking shit down. I look forward to hearing your pre-fight breakdown on the next card. And until the next time, my man, I'll see you at the next card.
Yep. See you next card. Peace.
Take it easy. All right, I am the great M. Jada. He was the Weasel, your SVG analyst, and we are out of here. Thank you.